I'm John Medina, author of Brain Rules for Baby. What does science say about how to raise smart and happy children to age 5? Let's go find out.
That's it, honey. You're doing great. It's perfect. Oh, it's perfect, honey. It's perfect. We're almost there. We've recently received the good news that yet another little one is on the way. So there's much to get ready for. Well, one doesn't wish to blow one's own horn, but clearly the key to good parenting is maturity. We waited to have Michael Jr. and Michael up until we had devoured all of the information, the films, the books, the literature, on how to raise a perfect child. The fork goes right here on the left-hand side, and we have this knife and the spoon on the right. I think the key is expectations. If you set the bar high enough, the child will rise to it. Now, Jan and I had started early. We had gotten this device called Baby Megaphone, and what it does is it allows you to read great literature to the child while it's, still in the womb. You heard the boom, boom, boom. We'll continue tomorrow with Chapter 17 of War and Peace. In fact, we have continued this great tradition of exposing the little ones to art, music, literature, the like. If Michael Jr. is going to make it into Yale, one does not want to miss an opportunity to teach.
Billions and billions and billions of stars in the vast galaxy.
We've been reading of late about how teaching impulse control can lead to higher grade point averages and SAT scores. Okay, I'm going to give you this one cookie, but if you can wait 15 minutes before you eat it, I'll give you 2 more. Yay! Okay, no, honey, that's the whole point, is to wait 15 minutes. I'll give you 2 more, okay? No, honey, Harvard, think Harvard, Harvard, Harvard. The key is restraint. Okay, you're doing great, honey, that's it. Oh, it's perfect, honey. Okay, you ready, honey? We have been resolute about talking to our children like adults, because if you talk to them like adults, they're more likely to act that way. I want you to tell me what's wrong. No? Okay. Stop crying. You need to use your words. See, what I'm doing is I'm spelling bonus residuo qui expecto, meaning all good things come to those who wait. Isn't that right, my little progeny? Okay, let's find the E. We also don't miss an opportunity to tell them how brilliant they are. It breeds self-confidence, and self-confidence is the key. As you may have observed, I try to lead by example. Confidence is my middle name. Actually, it is my middle name. It was my father's idea.
Daddy, Charles not moving.
Oh. That's all right, honey. Okay? Fish die all the time. It's a circle of life kind of a thing. Okay? We'll get you a new one. Why don't you run along? It is so important to know how to talk to your children, so you can decode their behavior, find out what they need, and you can meet those needs. She always dances like that whenever I mention advanced placement.
Uh-oh, party.
Sure, it takes a lot out of you, but it's worth it. Babies are easy. I mean, I've actually been sleeping quite well. You simply can't love children too much. Yes, yes, yes. I just know that when the time comes... You ready? Honey, you ready? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, here, take it. Okay, point it at me, honey. Point it at me. Okay, and action! We'll be ready.
Isn't it a bit odd that you need to study, take hours of classes, and develop sophisticated, testable skills to get a driver's license, but that no such requirements are needed for being a parent? Well, welcome to this short 7-question parent exam, testing you on how much you know about raising intelligent and happy children. I'm Dr. John Medina, I'm a developmental molecular biologist and author of Brain Rules and Brain Rules for Baby. Do the best you can, keep track of your score. You may be surprised by what you find. First question. Which devices or products can you buy to help develop your child's brain? A. Baby megaphone. B. Audio products featuring classical music. C. Video-driven products such as Baby Einstein featuring vibrant colors and music. Or D. None of the above. If you guessed D, you are correct. Not a single electronic device or commercial product has ever been shown in randomized blinded trials to improve an infant's or a young child's brain power, or even in non-randomized, non-blinded trials. In fact, in a few cases, they have actually been shown to hurt their development. Putting your child in front of any form of television in their early years can lead to problems in their ability to pay attention to things in their later years, like during school. The effect is so severe, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that parents just keep the darn thing turned off for the first 2 years of life. Now, if you're saying to yourself, hey, these things give me a badly needed break, I don't blame you. There are times when busy parents need a break, which means a balancing act is in order. I address this balancing act on the website, www.brainrules.net. Second question. Remember the cookie test?
Yeah, but if you can wait 15 minutes before you eat it.
The one about impulse control? Here we go. Is a child who is willing to forego one cookie for the promise of getting 2 later more likely to A. Gain weight, B. Become more gullible later in life, C. Not end up in the food industry, or D. Achieve greater academic success? All right, I had fun with this one, but the surprising answer is that D is the correct response. A child's ability to defer gratification is an indicator of future academic achievement, and the talent varies with the age of a child. Not surprisingly, 4th graders tend to last longer than 4-year-olds. The effect of impulse control on their academic future, part of a broader suite of behaviors we call executive function, isn't trivial. It is a better predictor of success than IQ. Children who could delay their gratification for 15 minutes scored 210 points higher on their SATs than children who lasted only 1 minute. Third question. By talking to your infants and toddlers like adults,
You need to use your words.
are they more likely to A. Act like adults, B. Learn language quicker, C. Develop more self-respect, or D. None of the above? The answer? D. None of the above. Babies aren't adults. They learn languages much better if adults speak to them in what we call parentese. High-pitched tones delivered in sing-songy voices with stretched-out vowel sounds.
Yes! We's a good baby. Oh, I'm a good baby.
The slower, more melodic tone probably helps infants separate sounds into contrasting categories, and the high pitch may assist infants in imitating the characteristics of speech. Babies are terrific imitators, and with a vocal tract 1/4 the size of an adult's, they can produce sounds only at those higher pitches. That's why parentese helps babies learn language better. Fourth question. By complimenting your children on how smart they are they more likely to A. Live up to that expectation by achieving academic success, B. Gain self-confidence that will help them later in life, C. Become conceited, or D. Perform worse academically? This is going to sound surprising, but the answer is D. Kids actually do worse in school if you routinely praise their success by telling them how smart they are. That's especially true for bright kids who suddenly encounter a challenge. Look what happens when Michael Jr. reaches the 4th grade.
Mom, Dad, I got an A.
You did? Let me see.
Wow, you got an A, huh? You must be very smart. Like your father. Smart, 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 smart.
If this goes on Michael's whole life, What happens when the little guy gets challenged and maybe gets a couple of C's, maybe even D's?
Oh man, I got C's and D's. I used to get A's because I was so smart. I must be getting these bad grades because I'm dumb. Dumb, 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 dumb.
Noted researcher Carol Dweck calls these parental behaviors fixed mindset behaviors. Instead, consider this parental reaction, which Carol calls growth mindset behaviors.
Mom, Dad, I got an A.
You did? Let me see. Oh.
You got an A, huh? You must have studied very hard. I'm very proud of you.
If this alternate parental behavior goes on Michael's whole life, what happens when he gets a C?
I used to get A's because I studied really hard. I probably got this C because I didn't study hard enough. Next time I'll study harder. I will not give up.
Notice how Michael's relationship with failure is altered, and that makes all the difference in the world. Statistically, kids do much better in school if they are praised for their effort using growth mindset behaviors rather than praised for their native IQs using fixed mindset behaviors. These kids do better in school if a parent praises their native effort instead of their native horsepower. Fifth question. It is best to deal with the passing of a child's goldfish by A, explaining that death is a part of life and they need to be strong, B, telling them it's okay and offering to buy a new one, C, telling them not to bother you with such small details, or D, none of the above. One of the most important gifts you as a parent can give to a child is simply to acknowledge big feelings when they occur in their little hearts, even if you don't agree with them. Michaela obviously feels really bad that her goldfish died. It may even be her first experience of grief. But remember Dad's response?
It's a circle of life kind of a thing.
Michaela may wonder, if this is no big deal, then why am I feeling so bad? There must be something really wrong with me. Rather than giving the child any tools that might help her deal with her grief, Michaela's dad is actually ignoring her grief. Michael leaves the girl with nothing. If that continues, she will never learn how to deal effectively with big feelings like loss and pain. There's lots of things to do when kids have big, intense feelings, but the research is very clear about what you should do first. Research shows the most significant first step is empathy. And by the way, since empathy is not on the list, the correct answer is D, none of the above. This is what you should have done.
Daddy's trunk not moving.
Oh, Michaela. Michaela, I'm so sorry. I bet you feel just awful. I know you really love that fish, and now we'll never see him again. I am so sorry.
Then you should have hugged her and allowed her to cry in your arms. You win the behavioral lottery with empathy. Research shows that parents who practice empathy regularly in the face of their children's strong feelings raise kids who are statistically more emotionally stable, have better friendships, experience fewer infectious diseases, and get the best grades. Question 6. If you are in a relationship, you both can prepare for the ordeal of having a child by A, doing nothing about your relationship because the joy will carry you through, B, just using your common sense, C, getting lots of rest, or D, acknowledging the landmines ahead and changing some of your behaviors. Again, if you guess D, you are correct. So can a couple prepare for the ordeal of having a child? Yes, but again, not in the way our friend thinks. Note that Jan is doing most of the housework while Michael Sr. is just laying around.
Could you get me a glass of wine, please? Thank you.
This is statistically typical. The female in a heterosexual marriage does more work around the house, even if both work. Dishes, dirt, diapers, minor household repairs, all of it. The female does 70% of all household tasks. These data are often couched as good news because 30 years ago, the figure was 85%. But it doesn't take a brain scientist to know these figures aren't equal. As Florence Kennedy once said, any woman who still thinks marriage is a 50-50 proposition is only proving that she doesn't understand either men or percentages. This imbalance is the origin of much marital hostility, the most frequently cited source of strife in the transition to parenthood. It can have biological consequences for the kids. Marital conflict can be detected by young children and even interfere with their developing nervous systems, including their brains. This may have to do with a stress hormone called cortisol. Babies respond to stress by flooding their systems with hormones like these, just like adults do. But, unlike adults, the central nervous systems of babies are still forming and are quite vulnerable. The results of stress hormone flooding can be damaging to that developmental effort, even catastrophic. Noted researcher John Gottman says he can predict the quality of a relationship not only by examining the stress responses of the parents, but also by taking a urine sample of their children. If you really want to get your kid into Harvard, husbands, pick up the dust cloth and start cleaning. I encourage all men to take a more equal share of the household chores, if for no other reason than you'll get a smarter baby if you do. And, in one of the most delightful papers to be published in a long time, you'll also get more sex. And finally, the last question. Is it possible to love your child too much? The answer is A, no, B, no, C, no, D, no. If you guessed all of the above, you're right. It's not possible to love your child too much, just as long as you show it in the right way. Okay, how many did you get right? What was your score out of 7 questions? If you want to know where you stand in comparison to others, or you want more details on any of these issues, go to the Brain Rules for Baby website at brainrules.net, where you'll find even more questions to test your knowledge of parenting. And if you're about to become a parent, I could not be happier for you. You are about ready to enter into the hardest, best job in the world.